been seeing here over the last handful of home matches, and just really happy to have the support. Place was rocking, and we look forward to it again tomorrow. I'm really happy how the team just handled their business tonight. We knew Eastern Michigan was going to be scrappy. They came in on a hot streak, and we knew we can get after them from the service line. I think we've been serving well all season, and we take our risks from back there, but we get a lot of reward from it too. So really happy how the whole match went, and it's just a good team effort as we always preach about.
Questions for the players?
How much maybe did your physicality at the net kind of
Hurt me? I'm just kidding. No, they're outside, popped me in the face a couple times, and that's, we don't have a ton of super small outsides in the Big Ten, so it's a little bit of an adjustment coming and playing some of the mid-major teams early on, like you see in the tournament and in preseason. But no, I think it's also hard for them to replicate a team like us. We're significantly just larger than they are in a lot of aspects, and so I think we did a great job blocking, and it slowed some of their hitters down and forced them into trying to make shots that I don't think they've made all season.
You had a block on what I think their outside hitter thought was going to be a free kill on an overpass. Did you see her reaction to that? She looked sort of disappointed.
Well, it is disappointing when you get blocked. No, I didn't see her, but like I said, I was glad I could get her after she popped me in the face a couple times. So no, I just thought everyone was really solid across the net. Our left side blockers were great on their slide attackers, kind of stopping and dropping, and like I said, forcing them into trying to do things that they hadn't and couldn't score on us.
What was that initial feeling like of stepping out onto the court for the first round at NCAA tournament here at Huff Hall?
I'm going to be honest, it kind of felt like it was a preseason tournament. Just, I think we approached this entire week in a sense that it was just sort of another match, because it is. Although, everything's sort of on the line now. If you lose, you go home and you don't get to advance on. But I think just the way that we handle ourselves every day, the way that we handle our lifting and our practices, and how we've tried to handle the Big Ten was just taking it one day at a time and one match at a time. And so when we stepped on the floor, it was kind of just like our routine, and I think that's how we handled them as well.
Ashley, you want to answer that as well?
Yeah, that was like my first NCAA appearance too in general, but I think it was the best place to be at Huff, because it's like that's the place that we've been playing all year, and so I think that definitely just gave us like a comfortable edge to be like, these are our fans, they're going to be supporting us, and we just kind of started right from the beginning and took it point by point, and I think that was great.
You mentioned that was your first time. Was it being played here at Huff Hall kind of relax you a little bit, maybe just feel a little bit more at ease?
Yeah, definitely. I think being able to keep in the routines, which is like we always try to do, and I think it being at Huff really helped that. Just doing the little things right before and getting prepared like mentally for the game.
It's been a while since you guys have played someone not in the Big Ten. How is it preparing for a different style, a team like EMU that didn't bring a lot of the same qualities that Big Ten teams bring to the court?
Good.
Do you wanna go?
No, you get. You got it.
I was going to say, we talk about how we've seen almost every type of play this season, every style of play, and even going back to our preseason, we saw some teams that were smaller and would kind of just swing away and swing for whatever they saw, even if it was hands or no hands. And so I think just being able to kind of revert back to what we've done and where we've been, and really just stay within ourselves and make sure that we are in the moment and not looking too far ahead. I think that helped us a lot.
Ashton, you hit 889 tonight. What was going on out there that allowed you to hit such a high clip today?
I think our tough serving, because then it's like we can move everything else a lot better after that, because then it's like we'll get more balls out of system to get better digs, and then it's easier for Jordan. She can decide where she wants to go. And I think just taking it, like I said, point by point, but each point as seriously and in the moment as we can, so then we can stay focused and make sure it's as good of a rep as possible. And I think that was really engaged with everyone today, and I think that's why we played so well.
You guys have had, a target on your backs all season, really, especially with the schedule you played. But, was it a little different coming out there tonight, having that one seed label on? You guys lived up to the bill, you swept, but did you feel a little bit of a pressure that you needed to come out and make a statement like you guys did tonight?
Me, I think we talk a lot about, beating the Big Ten is tough, and it is, people, speak to it as the grind, and it is. You have to really be mentally and physically prepared every time you step on the court. So to make it through the Big Ten season is a big deal, and to do it the way we did is a big deal. And we had a little bit of, I think we lost 3 out of 4 there in the middle, and it was like, hey, we're still doing fine. There's lots of things that we're still going right. We were just missing on a few plays, and once we kind of cleaned those things up, we kind of just kept rolling with it, and we were now 14 straight, I guess. And so a lot of the basics don't really change for us. Now that we have a lot of the basics down, a lot of it comes to some subtle nuances that happen in the game, small adjustments that we maybe have to do. But as long as we're serving and passing well, I like our chances. And the expectation is that we, like they're mentioning, is that we still come after it every day. And they've done a great job, and I applauded them that this morning. I do it all the time, but they just do a great job of working hard and not taking a rep for granted. And when you have a team like that, you don't get surprised by much because we're not playing like this. We've been pretty steady all year round, and it really takes a lot for a team to get after us, and we've proven that through the Big Ten season. So the target's on our back. In some ways, I told them, a lot of people didn't expect us to be here and in this position, so just embrace it and embrace 4,000 fans and get after it, and I think we did that tonight.
Do you think being at home lessened that pressure at all, or that feeling of having a target on your back?
We've talked about it before, how I think even being in front of a home crowd, your fans are expecting you to make all these plays and make every play. And so I almost think that there's more pressure playing at home, maybe because you want to perform for the fans that came out on their Friday night to come support us. So not that it's a bad pressure, but I do think that there's an expectation to perform, and I don't think that we ever approach it as there's a need to make a certain play. We try and make the best choices that we can in each situation and hope for the best, and that's all we can do. And we're lucky that we can do that in long periods of time and kind of wear other teams down, and that's what we hope to do for the rest of the tournament.
George, you said that you want to play your best volleyball at the end of the year with 4 straight wins. Do you feel you guys are playing your best game right now, or do you think there's another level?
It's hard to argue that. Like I said, I think we've been playing pretty consistently all year round, and that goes on both ends of the floor. And you really want to have, we have 6 rotations. You have an offense and defense on both ends of that. And you really try to, as the year goes on, you try to address any weakness that comes up in it. And, I told them again this morning, it's tough to find a fault in the game right now. That doesn't mean that we're unbeatable. It just means that we're pretty solid, and it's going to take a team, another team, a lot to do something to us to get us rattled. Because, like we said, we've seen everything. So yeah, you want to be playing your best, but I think we've been playing pretty good, pretty much since that 3 out of 4 kind of losing streak. And then ever since we addressed a couple of things, we've been kept on going every single week. And again, it's tough to do in the Big Ten.
If not illustrates, you have 5 hitters that you can use effectively. But how do you maybe balance looking for your own attack in that mix?
It's when I have the opportunity to attack, that means that we're passing really well, and it just kind of gives me the freedom to feel what the other blockers are doing, and hopefully early on in sets, if we're passing well, and I can put one down, it kind of gets the middle blocker thinking of me, but and it opens up the rest of the attackers. Even if I'm back row, some of the blockers on the other side tend to get jumpy if I'm closer to the net, but I don't really look for the attack a ton, maybe not as much as I should sometimes, but
Depends on what match.
yeah, no, that's true. I think that our passing really kind of determines whether I have the option to do it, and our passing has been great, and I've had the option a lot, but our hitters are also executing and performing, and so it's kind of a win-win whether I decide to take it over or set them. Something good's going to happen.
Coaching that third set, EMU kind of goes on a small little run to tie it up at 11, and then your team immediately responds with a 7-0 run. What does that say about them that when they face that sort of adversity, they immediately just respond like that?
Yeah, again, it's what we've seen all year, and my radio guy gets on me all the time because I don't call any timeouts, but we see it all the time that they're able to get out of it. You need great floor leaders to do that, and our passing's been solid all year. And so when you have those things, you don't really want to break momentum of what's going on. You just kind of see, how we're reacting in certain situations. And if I feel like, it's like, okay, maybe we just need a little breather, or maybe we've been working hard within a couple rallies, and then we'll take a timeout. But a lot of times they're really good with responding, and again, there's not a lot of teams that have put tons of runs on it. And in terms of that run, that was just those 3 really good serves in a row, and okay, we just keep going. And I know there's a lot of game. A lot of the game is somewhat random, as most sports are, and we just have to make sure we're controlling what we can control. So yeah, they made a run. They're a good team. They ran their conference tournament at the end of the year there, so they're on a hot streak as well. And we were expecting their best, and I'm happy with how we played tonight.
Allie led in blocks, but didn't have her greatest night hitting. But you guys really spread it around tonight. What about being able to turn to other players helps you guys control matches against teams like this when Allie's maybe not hitting her most accurately?
I think a lot of teams are moving on in the season are going to focus a lot on Allie. She was really successful a lot in the year, so it's hard to attack against 2 blockers when they know the ball is going to her. So I think she's done a good job of managing what she can and looking for ways to score. But no, I think it's nice when maybe we aren't executing as strong on one side or one aspect. We don't have to rely on one person to be successful. And again, it goes back to our passing. If we can pass well enough to where we're not jacking high balls to the outsides and not becoming super one-dimensional, it helps a lot.
Coach, turning around, less than 24 hours, you guys are back at it against Louisville, who looked pretty strong tonight. What is the preparation like, when you've only got 24 hours?
They've already been broken down, so it's just a matter of making sure that we go through them again as a coaching staff, and that we have a good game plan moving forward. In terms of the turnaround for them, we preach a lot about recovery. Jordan's got a recovery smoothie here, and they're downstairs doing their routines. But again, it's pretty. It's nice that we get done with the match in about an hour or so, and we get a good chance to recover for tomorrow. Usually in the Big Ten, you got 4 or 5 set battle to another 4 or 5 set battle. So we're ready for anything that anyone throws at us, and again, trust this team to respond to anything that's going to be thrown our way.
What do you see out of Louisville heading into tomorrow?
Well, Louisville is coached by one of my former coworkers, Danny Busboom, and she's a great coach, and I know that staff well, and they've got good players. They have one of our former players who transferred there as well. So they're a good team. They're physical, and they take a lot of good swings. They got good ball control. So it should be a pretty good battle tomorrow. When you get teams that are in system going back and forth, it becomes a lot about blocking defense because you're going to score points on both sides. So again, it's going to be, can we keep serving tough, which I know we can. We've been doing it all year, and can we get the team more out of system than we can? We got some of the best out of system blocking in the country, I think, and yeah, that's usually what our game is. So if we can force out a system and get them thinking a little bit, then I like our chances. But they're a good team. Every team, I tell them all the time, every team that makes it here is a good team. They've made it here. They earned their way here. Conference champion. They battle for their conferences. We were in this position last year where we're head out to Washington, and we were 5th in the Big Ten or whatever, and we knock off a number 8 or number 10, whatever it was, Washington on their home floor. So we don't take anything for granted, and we'll be ready for everyone's best. We want everyone's best.
Coach, Jordan mentioned a little earlier about the composure this team had heading to this first match of the NCAA tournament. I know in 2015 you were part of a national championship team. What are the qualities that team shares with this one?
I think a lot of them, really, and I shared that with them this morning as well. We have excellent ball control, and we serve really tough. When you have those two things, like Jordan mentioned, and Ashton knows from being an attacker and blocker, you're able to do a lot of things. You're able to spread the ball around. You're able to go, like I said, if Allie's struggling one night, we're able to spread it to someone else. We're able to change routes. We're able to throw kind of lots of things at lots of teams, and we're able to adjust mid-match if need be, because our ball control is there, and because we're, it's really tough to get a ball to the floor on us. So we make teams think a lot. We make them score in really tough situations, and those are a lot of similarities that we had in 2015 as well. So again, they put in a lot of work to get to this point, and like what we're doing a lot right now. But that's a lot of the similarities right there.
Coach mentioned on Wednesday that after a win, your phone usually pulls up for about 100 texts. I don't know if you've had a chance to check it.
I have not.
Is that-
Yeah, usually, yeah, and sometimes before the support's been great. A lot of coaches around the country that we're friends with that are stoked for us. A lot of coaches here at Illinois that are really happy for us, and it's a great community of coaches and athletes. DIA was able to purchase tickets for our student athletes. Seen about 400 or 500 students here tonight. It was awesome. So just really appreciate the support. Hope to have another. I think we're close to selling out tonight. Hope to have a sellout tomorrow. So,
Coach, you look at this time last year, and you guys are in the same position, but on the road, not favored to beat Washington out there. Just looking at how far you guys have come in that time to where you are now, what does that say about just the team's response to what you've been trying to do here?
well, since day one, it's just been about putting in the work and making sure that we're really aware and very intent on what we're doing. I'm not a fan of, we're allowed to train for 3 or 4 hours or whatever it is, but I'm not a fan of doing that if we're going to waste 2 of them. So we do a lot of training on just being real intent with our reps and making sure that we're not taking a rep off. And, these two sitting next to me are prime examples of that, but the whole team's like that. And we really, we practice against each other. We kind of go A side, B side, but that B side's getting after it just as much as the A side is, and it's hard to put a ball to the floor in practice. And so when you have all those things, you get really match-like situations as you're going along. So, from where we started to where we are now, I could say, I remember having practice here at 7 a.m. and it was the same work ethic from that first day. We only had 9 people in the gym, but it was that same work ethic, and they've been, when you have a good group of leadership, like Jordan, Allie, Beth, Jack, when you have all those people that keep on going, you add in pieces like Ashlyn and bring in freshmen who work hard just the same, you give yourself a good recipe for success. And we hold them to a high standard. We throw them challenges all the time, and they respond to those challenges. And it's hard to do. It's not easy to do it. One of my older coaches used to say, if it was easy, everyone would do this, and everyone would have the 3-seater battling for it. But they've really put in the work, and not just on the court, but off the court, being together as a team. It's not about being best friends. It's about really respecting one another. But I can honestly say, and I think you guys can agree with me, you guys get along great off the court too, and it's just a really great team to be a part of right now.
Thanks.
All good?